So you want to go to find a hairstylist that can cut hair like I can, or you've watched so many of my videos and no one can seem to get the haircut right that you're looking for. Well, I'm going to share with you a bunch of tips on, you know, what I would suggest for you as the viewer or client to find the right person. Now, I've done videos like this numerous times in the past. The awesome thing is that I'm always getting new people who are coming to my YouTube channel who are asking me questions. Salon Guy, how do I find someone who cuts hair like you? Or, how do I find someone, no one can cut my hair right in 10 salons I've been to and no one seems to get it. Well, there's a few different sides to that. I've actually had clients in the past that were just so fanatical about their hair that I couldn't even deal with them. And it wasn't really as much me as it was the client. Okay, so if you're having an issue and you can't find someone to cut your hair and you've been to 10 people, 15 people, you're either not going to the right places and finding the right person, or there's something going on with you or your hair that it's just a miscommunication. I don't know, but sometimes it's not always the stylist. And I'm only saying that from experience. There's been times where I wished that I wouldn't see a certain client again because I had like a nervous breakdown every time they came in because they were just so fanatical about their hair. It actually made me so uncomfortable myself. And then when I never saw them again, sometimes it was kind of a relief, okay? But if you're someone who is looking to find a hairstylist, you have to do a few key steps, or even a barber, a few key steps that I think will help. Now, I'm based in the United States. I really can't share or give any sort of advice for someone in India or Iran or like Russia, Germany, wherever across the world, the globe. I can't give you exact advice because I don't know how things work in certain areas. The concept can be kind of the same thing. So if you're looking for someone in your area, I would go on Google and just type in hairstylists in whatever town, city you're in, and look at reviews, or hair salons in whatever town, New York, New York, or Austin, Texas. And then I would look at the salons and look at the reviews and look at the people's names that are being mentioned. 5-star review, Jessica is amazing. Michelle is amazing. John is great. Peter is amazing. Every time Michael cuts my hair, he's the best barber ever. If the reviews keep mentioning a certain person, maybe go on the salon's website, maybe go on the barbershop's website, then go on their Instagram page, go on their Facebook page. Try to look at the work they do individually. If their name is listed as like staff on their website, search that name up on Instagram. There's a strong chance that they will have an account on Instagram or social media or something where you can look at the work they're doing. Now, how does this tie in together? If you look them up and you see the work they're doing and it's on par with what you are looking for, they're posting those layered haircuts that you want. They're posting TikTok hairstyles that you want. They're posting the long layers you want, the bob, the pixie haircuts, the highlights, the blonde, the this, whatever it is, and you are seeing the work that you want, then that is a strong sign and indication that they may be the right professional for you. Now, what you need to understand is that just because someone else's hair looks perfect, you have to have that same hair texture and hair type to get that look. For example, if you want to have the perfectly flowing, super straight TikToker hairstyle, but your hair is, wavy or frizzy or super dry or a different hair texture that looks and feels nothing like the type of hairstyle that you want and the individual's hair who has that style, you may not be able to get that because you don't have that same hair type. So your hair type and texture, density, all of that stuff plays a very, very important role in the end result. If you want a short layered haircut that feathers back perfectly every time, and you have super curly hair, I mean, chances are it's not going to look like it's feathered back because your hair is super curly. If your hair is super pin straight and you want to have curls in your hair, you're not going to get that from a haircut. You have to have a chemical treatment, a chemical process, a perm or something to make your hair, different than what it normally is. So sometimes you have to make some alterations to get that. And I know clients, you have a lot of high expectations sometimes, and you think just because you show a photo that you're going to be able to get that when you may not have the hair type or texture for that look. Now, it's up to that professional to tell you that you don't have that. And this is the disconnect. This is the challenge that I know a lot of you face and that I have even witnessed over the years from people in my own industry. AKA, I've heard some of the worst consultations I've ever heard in my career. I've seen awful attempts at haircuts that certain stylists just were not used to doing and maybe did like once in their life, and they would attempt it on a client and it would be an absolute disaster, or crime scene, a hair crime scene. The hair detectives would show up and arrest the stylist, okay? Now, there is a big disconnect because if you're a professional, don't think you can do it when you can't. Because the worst thing, as you know, is a bad hair experience, a client who's freaking out, and you run in the back, have a panic attack, start crying, and you have the worst day ever. You don't want to experience that. You're better off telling that person at the very beginning, before you even start or pick up your scissors or clippers, is that, I'm sorry, but based off of the picture you're showing me, that person's hair type is completely different than your hair type. There's no chance that your hair is going to do what this person's hair does. If that professional attempts to do that and your hair can't do that, you will not be happy as a client. And then you have every right to say, this looks nothing like the photo. Then that stylist or barber will get very defensive. Then the whole attitude comes out. Oh, well, blah, 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 and your hair's not like that. Well, if my hair's not like that, then why did you cut it in the first place like this? So, I can go on and on and on about stories and how the clients get defensive, the stylists get defensive, it becomes one big thing, a big fight, they walk out crying, it's a disaster. So, if you are looking for the right stylist or barber, follow the steps that I mentioned before. Find them on Google, find them on social media. Find out, you have to put the work in. If you've put the work in by spending hundreds and hundreds, not thousands of dollars on traveling to 19 different hairstylists, then you could spend a half an hour on Google or Instagram or Facebook. If you're not super tech savvy, somebody you know has to have a computer. Somebody who's maybe younger than you, if you're elderly, or someone who's just more on it, talk to them, let them help you. I wanted to make this video because I literally get requests for me to cut people's hair at least a dozen a week, at least. And I'm not even taking clients anymore. So, I don't even tell people that I cut hair. So the thing is, can people cut hair? Yes. Are they out there? Yes. Have I met them and seen them? Yes. You just have to find them. I don't know anymore really who's good. I don't know who I can suggest for the most part, maybe one or two people here and there, but I don't know in other countries, other states, I have no idea who's good. Follow those steps. If you, and this is really important, if you are somebody, a client who has any suggestions, or if you followed my tips like I'm sharing today, like I've shared in the past, please, in the comments section, let us all know what has worked for you. How did you find your best barber, your perfect hairstylist? Did you go through a whole bunch of people? please share in the comments below so other people can learn and get some really good advice from you. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.